All right, welcome, guys, to another edition of the Natural Alternative Live Q&A. I want to welcome all of you that are on. Let me see if there's anybody on our chat as yet. Um, but I want to welcome all of you that are joining us wherever in the world you are, that you're joining us from. Welcome to another edition of the Natural Alternative Live Q&A. So I'm gonna give person some time to, just send the link out, get some persons on the show. We have a very interesting show this evening. Very interesting show this evening. As a matter of fact, let me just go over um, what the show, what to expect in this evening's show. So let me first of all just big up everybody who is watching in different parts of the world. Big up all those persons who are watching on Facebook. Big up all those persons who are watching from our Twitter page. All those persons who are watching from our Instagram page. Want to welcome you, all of you, to our live this evening. So just go ahead and send the live out to somebody who you think needs to benefit from this evening live. We have a wonderful show lined up this evening, and I just want to big up my producer Josh, and all the team members who made this possible. I want to big them up. So we have a very interesting lineup this evening. We're going to be hearing from in our Caribbean, in our Indigenous Health segment. We're going to be hearing from Chief Kalan Nibranix and Chieftess Kasikani Ronald Pierman. This is the chief and the chieftess of the Taino people. We're going to be hearing from them, and today so happens to be their New Year's celebration. So, I want to thank them for taking the time out of their busy schedule, joining us today. So you'll be hearing from them. And then, of course, we'll be talking about the herbs that we featured in our 60 Minutes with Mother Nature. Any question that persons may have, we're going to be taking those questions. And then we're going to be looking on, a wellness report. We're going to be we'll be having a testimony from a lady that I just spoke. You'll hear more about that, but very, very interesting how that came to happen. So this evening, this is Masterix. Thank you for the openly addressing health issues you are not able to fully present. It's not really sure about that. Yeah, I wasn't able to finish because there was so much distraction. But thank you for joining us, Masterix 6. And all those persons who are joining, who are jumping on, thank you for having us. When you do come on, do tell me where you're joining from. Where you're joining from. Let me know where you're joining from. Just want to remind persons of some upcoming events. We'll be in New York this June 10 to 15, and there are links in the description of this video. I'm going to be in New York, in Bronx, New York, on June 10 to 15. Then I'm going to be in. So there's a link in the description. So I'm going to be in Bronx, and I want to meet you. I want to come out and greet you and basically share with you and hear the concerns that you have. And you're from Woodstock, Ontario, Canada. Thank you for joining us, Masterix. And guys, whenever you come on with this jumping on, let me know where you're joining from, where you're coming from. We want to hear from you. Also, some persons are saying it's difficult to connect with me. There is a link in the description. I missed a few of my consultation because I was traveling for about 40 hours to Asia. So I'm actually I'm actually presenting to you now from Asia. I'm in a country called Laos. And you'll see videos from that trip on my channel as well. So want to welcome those persons Eslyn Shaw from Florida, Palm Beach County, and I'm going to be in Florida. I'm going to be in Florida. I'm going to ask Eslyn or whoever is watching this as a recording. Whoever is watching this as a recording, I just want to let you know that I'm going to be in Florida. Yeah, yes, Laos is near Vietnam, but I haven't gotten a location. So I've gotten a location for New York where I'm going to be from. I don't have a location yet in Florida, but I do have the dates. So on the form, the dates are relevant, but the address is not relevant. So if you are listening, hi Annie, where are you watching us from, Annie? Tell us where you're watching us from. So if anyone who is watching know of a church or a community-based organization that would be willing to host me from the 17th to the 21st, then please, in the contact form in the description of this video, then please, when you reach out, my assistant will let me know. When you reach out, let us know if you know of, or if you know if you're a part of a congregation that can hold us. Marjorie Miller, greetings from St. Bartholomew. Christine Gilbert, blessings to you. Annie is in Trinidad. Yeah, thank you, Annie. So we have quite a number of links in the description. Some of the links we're going to be talking about in the show. Some of the links we will share with you and give you more information on that. So the link is in the description. So I want to just let you know that the live Q&A, we were planning to have our phone lines up, but it's not yet up in the making. So for our Q&A, I'll have to take the questions in the chat, and we're going to be taking questions from persons, health related questions. I don't know how many persons who are watching who have subscribed to our channel as yet. Please do subscribe to our channel. We want to hear from you. Yes, Eslyn, I'm looking forward to seeing you too. So please do subscribe to our channel if you have done so. This is Hyacinth Baker, Sister Baker from St. James, Jamaica. Good evening, ma'am. It's nice to have you. Oh, it's our good morning. It's 7 a.m. for me now. It's about 7 p.m. for you. Thank you for joining us. So this evening, we have quite a show lined up for you. We have the chief and the chiefess of the Taino people that are scheduled to be on. And we have, some powerful testimonies in our wellness report of some persons who have been phenomenally blessed by health products. So, we're going to have that. Vitality trends. Good morning or good evening to you. Tell us where you're watching us from. Where in the world are you watching us from? All right, want to know where you're watching us from. And so this show basically is designed for me to take questions. It's more focused on health. And the other shows that I'm on, there's a number of other distractions. So, Vitality Trend. Oh, it's Adriana. Oh, Adriana from Bahamas. Or is it, yeah, Bahamas or Barbados? Adriana, that's where you're from? All right. So this session is designed to take more questions of Cayman Islands. Vitality Trends is in the Cayman Islands. So it's designed to focus on issues affecting natural medicine, issues affecting the wellness, issues that are related to wellness. That's what the show is about. And issues that relate to the indigenous people. So that's what this show is about. And so we're going to be doing that. So let me just go ahead and talk a little bit about the show that just passed, or 60 Minutes with Mother Nature. How many persons watched the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature? And are there any questions from the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature that was aired at 3 p.m. today? So the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature was supposed to be a live, but Charmaine, good evening. Where you joining us from, Charmaine? Let us know where you're joining us from. The 60 Minutes with Mother Nature was supposed to we started out doing live, but because of where we have to go sometimes to do the videos, the quality was not so great, and so I decided to do it pre-recorded, and then during our live, take questions that persons may have as it relates to. Oh, you're from Toronto. Welcome, Charmaine. As it relates to questions that person may have watching the live. So we featured quite a number of herbs. We featured quite a number of herbs. One of the herbs that we featured was the prickly ash. All right, the prickly ash. The prickly ash is a herb that is extremely good for what we call rheumatoid arthritis. It aids in circulation. So that was one of the herbs that we looked at. We looked at also the two herbs that are very good for women. Bet Boy, it's good to have you in the house, Bet Boy. Yes. So we feature two herbs. One of them is the vervain. This is two herbs from the same family. And we also looked at the cat's tongue. And these are herbs that are very powerful, especially for women who are having heavy menstrual cycle and painful menstrual cycles. These two herbs work extremely well, especially cat's tongue for women who are going into labor. It's one of the herbs that helps helps women the labor process to be painless. And in the show, in future show, we plan to talk to persons who are midwives, who are from indigenous communities who are midwives. So we plan to talk to them. We plan to feature those persons on our show. You know, one of the reasons why we do the show is that I believe the next health crisis is going to be a food and medicine crisis. The next crisis is going to be a food and medicine crisis. And I don't believe that we are equipped. I don't believe we have knowledge as it relates to the plants for medicine and for food. And so, it's important that this knowledge gets out there. So in our series 60 Minutes with Mother Nature, I try to talk about all of those. Stacy, good morning, Dr. Ben. Can I have a cleanse if I'm breastfeeding, or what herbs can I take? Now, if you're breastfeeding, you definitely don't want to take any herb, because any herb that you take that is going to cleanse you is also going to affect the baby as well. So you have to wait until you stop breastfeeding, or if the child is old enough, you have to stop breastfeeding for approximately a week, so that the baby is not affected. But you definitely don't want to do that. I don't know what type of cleanse you need, because there are actually different types of cleanse. All right, so there are different types of cleanse. There is cleansing for the blood. There's cleansing for the liver. Cleansing for the kidney. There's cleansing for the colon. There's just so many different types of cleanse. So I don't know what type of health condition you have. Depending on the health condition that you have, determines the type of cleanse that you will take. I'm assuming, because when most people talk about cleanse, they're talking about colon cleanse. So if it is that you're talking about a colon cleanse, then definitely you don't want to take a colon cleanse while you're breastfeeding. All right, you want to stop breastfeeding before you do so. All right. Any other questions that persons may have? I don't think a lot of persons watch our 60 Minutes with Mother Nature. And maybe I should quiz you. There is a herb that I featured. There's a herb that I featured on the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature that helps with eyesight. Can anybody tell me what that herb is? So I mentioned a herb that helps with, it's actually nature's natural eye drop. This plant produces nature's natural eye drop. How many persons, Queen Bee, Digital Queen Bee, where you joining us from, Queen Bee? Thank you. You're on Facebook. Thank you for joining us. Where, what herb did I talk about as it relates to her, which herb that I mentioned, or you didn't watch? All right, so you need to watch it. So I spoke about a herb, donkey pee. Marjorie watched it. So donkey pee, as it is locally called, or it is also referred to as flame of the forest, um, or it is also called African tulip. Doctor, can you talk briefly about breast cancer and no two females with it? I am going to tell them about you. Um, Stacy is asking, I want to get a blood test, and the doc said there is something wrong with my kidney and liver, so I was referred to do scans. All right, flame of the forest. All right, so let me just breast cancer. What I want to talk about cancer, and I want to talk about breast cancer, but the show wouldn't give me enough time. So I promise you, I'm going to do a show talking about breast cancer. Um, and how important it is for women to do their breast evaluation. It's very important. I'm also going to, on that show, talk about the bras. Some women wear bras that they shouldn't be wearing. The bras with the bone in it, all right, that irritates the breast. I'm gonna be talking about that as well. Um, so definitely I'm gonna be talking about that. All right. So hey Donna Unique Dixon, thank you for joining us on Facebook. Um, yeah, just go ahead, guys, and just share. Just go ahead and share this with as many persons as you can. Let them know that the Natural Alternative Live is on. We have a packed show this evening. I plan to have 4 segments, and because this is going to be like a 2 hour live every day for the week, or this 2 hour live will have 4 segments, and each segment we're going to repost the segments during the week. So you won't have to sit down and watch the entire 2 hours. I'm gonna cut it up and repost the segments so that you can watch. Herbert Towsalin, watching from Florida. Wonderful. Nice to have you, Herbert. Thank you for joining us this evening. So we have a lineup show, a packed show. I believe my producer is getting in contact with our first guest, who is the chief and the chiefess of the all right. They're going to be sharing with us. All right. Anybody have any questions as it relates to the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature that we did, that came out today? Any question that persons may have about any of the herbs that we featured? Any question that persons may have about any of the herbs that we featured? All right. So the 60 Minutes with Mother Nature is designed to help persons to identify herbs in the wild. We do have a community. It's our Kinder Wellness community, and the goal is not just to help people to identify herbs in the wild, but there's a chart that we use that I would encourage persons to get. I'm going to do a show talking about the chart. It's outside. I'm going to do a show talking about the chart, and not only how we can use that chart to look at um, the medicinal uses of plant, but that chart actually shows you how to know which herbs to use. All right. Shaman is saying, I wear glasses. I'm in my 50s. What can I do to improve my eyesight? I'm in good health. What cleanse would you recommend? So for your eyesight, there's a herb called bilberry. Eye bright is good, but bilberry is extremely good, because what bilberry does is that bilberry helps to send blood to the smallest capillaries of the body. Some of the smallest blood capillaries are actually found in the eye. One of the reasons why some persons have poor eyesight, one of the reasons, is because of poor blood circulation, especially for persons who are diabetic. Bilberry is very good. Bilberries is also very good for persons who are having neuropathy, which is poor blood circulation in their legs, because what's happening again there is that the smallest blood vessels are in the end of our fingers and toes. And so bilberry will not only help the eye, it will also help the legs and the fingers. Also for men, bilberry will also help in that respect. I've known so many persons that I recommended it to have come back to say, man, this was such a wonderful recommendation. So I recommend bilberry. If you're having poor eyesight, I also recommend increasing your collagen. All right. Stacy says, one more question I have. 11-year-old son, and he's been complaining about having joint pains, his bones clicks. He was referred to do a blood test. Can you give any advice about this? He's 11 years old. Maybe he has some form of arthritis. We used to see arthritis in mostly older persons. Now we're seeing a lot of young persons with arthritis. And so I would recommend getting the test done. But let me just go back to the eye question, and then I'll continue with this. So we talk about bilberry, and then of course there is collagen. Collagen is found naturally. If you're a vegan, then a good source of collagen is sea moss. All right, sea moss has lots of collagen in it. If you eat animal products, there is cow skin, there is chicken foot, and then of course there is bone broth. All right, so lots of collagen there. For older persons, a lot of persons who have arthritis, when your body begins to lose collagen, then it begins to affect your hair. Your hair begins to fall out, your hair begins to get damaged. If you are low on collagen, also it causes premature aging. All right, so it's also good for the eye. If you're having poor eyesight, one of the minerals that you might be lacking might be from collagen. So collagen is also very good. And of course, there's vitamin A that you may need to increase as well. All right, so going back to the 11-year-old boy, I would highly recommending. Hi, Cynthia. Tell us where you're joining us from. Happy Sunday. Tell us where you're joining us from. So that child may be having arthritis issues, and so he's going to have musculoskeletal nerve issues. So collagen is also something that's good for him, but also inflammatory foods. All right. Thank you for joining us, Cynthia B from Colorado. So that 11 years old child might need some supplements to boost his calcium as well. Calcium intake. I don't recommend dairy, because even though dairy may be a good source of calcium, it is one of those sources that increase the body's production of mucus. All right, so there's calcium that you can get from nuts, and that's a very good source of calcium. All right, you can get it from almond nuts or other nuts similar to that. All right, so any other questions that persons may have from our herb walk? 60 minutes with Mother Nature. Any other questions that persons may have? All right, go ahead, guys, and just share the live with as many persons as you can. And I'll still take some more questions. Yeah, Jean Stoney. Yeah, when we talk about the breast cancer, we're gonna be talking about the bra with the wire in it. And Stacia said he has allergy to dairy, fish, and nuts. Right. So that boy may also be having gluten intolerance or gluten resistance. If he's having allergic reaction to these stuff, then definitely he may be having gluten resistance. So you might want to do some allergy tests yourself. remove certain foods from his diet, and just use a diary to record the reactions. All right. Charmaine says, yeah, my hair has become weak and breaking. I will increase my collagen intake. All right. So yeah, so you want to increase your collagen intake, and of course, as I said, you can get collagen from non uh, non dairy products, non animal products such as sea moss. But of course, if you eat animal, then cow foot, cow skin, chicken foot, bone broth. These are good sources of collagen that you can get. I don't have a problem with getting it from animal source. It's just that you don't want to get it from animal source that where these animals are fed are not 100% grass fed. Because a lot of these animals intake lots of antibiotics and lots of chemicals. And so because of that, you know, you may be aiming to get one mineral, but letting in 7 or 20 more that are going to harm you, even worse than how you are already harmed. All right, so in the next couple of minutes, we'll be going into our first segment, which is our Indigenous health. I don't see Chief Kalan Nibranix and his wife as yet, but hopefully they'll join us soon in the studio. Yeah, so wearing bra to bed can be dangerous because that spike that the bra has, um, it may be an issue. It may be an issue. So you don't want to do that. You want to not expose the body to any form of inflammation because that's just not healthy for you. You don't want to do that. All right. All right. So we should be getting ready soon to have our first guest with us. Beth Boy is talking about celiac disease, and these are gastrointestinal diseases that are on the rise. A lot of these diseases are on the rise, and they're coming from all over the food that people eat. Gene Story says, yes, I drink bilberries powder too. Yeah, so if you can get the bilberry herb, Gene, it's very good for circulation, very good for the eyes, very good for the body as well. So it's important that we understand the use of these herbs. All right, I'm trying to get my first guest. Don't know what's happening. All right, so guys, I can take some more questions. As I said, today is the New Year celebration for the Taino people, and I don't know how many persons knew that Tainos were still in Jamaica. I had the privilege of meeting the Taino chief and his wife, and we had a very interesting talk. So today is their celebration. So they're running a little bit late. So I was one of those persons. I don't know if you were like me, one of those persons who were taught that the Taino people all died out, that there's none of them left, that, they all died out from yellow fever and so on. Well, today we're going to be having the members of the Taino family, royalty, talking to us about the Taino people and why it is that it is believed that they died out. All right. So I can take some more questions So our herb walk was very interesting because we went up into the hills of Portland, and we found a number of herbs. There was a herb that we found there. There are food to avoid with arthritis. Yes, Gene. So there are definitely foods that you want to avoid. You want to avoid, especially oils. A lot of the oils are inflammatory, and so when you ingest these oils increase inflammation. You want to you want to eliminate oils altogether, especially oils that have been gone through hydrogenation, where the oils have been heated up and the temperature has been dropped, because all the enzymes, everything that is supposed to cause that oil to have enzymes, all of that has been removed, right? So you definitely want to avoid that, those types of oil. All right, definitely want to avoid those types of oil. All right, so in our herb walk, we also looked at the cowfoot leaf, which is a very good herb for arthritis. And we have a product that we make from the cowfoot leaf, which is a salve that works very well in helping persons who have arthritis issues. So cowfoot leaf is anti-inflammatory. It comes from the same family that the we have herbs like matico is from, black pepper is from the same family, pepper elder is from the same family. So the whole family, which is the piper family, consists of herbs that just work well in removing, pain. Um, Jean says cashews milk, walnuts milk, raw peanut milk, pecans milk, flaxseed milk. Um, these are also food, because these are also high in gluten as well, and these are anti-inflammatory. All right, so you definitely want to avoid those. So you want to get as much green. A lot of the plants that we consider to be wild plants, a lot of the plants that we consider to be wild plants are edible, and a lot of these plants are extremely good for removing inflammation out of the body. So herbs like Spanish needle, you can get the Spanish needle and you can just blend it, strain it, and juice it. Um, it's filled with chlorophyll, and so it helps to clean the blood. That's actually a herb that helps to clean the blood as well. Spanish needle. All right, so you can blend it. In the herb walk, we also looked at Carol Clements. Good night. Much love to honey. Hey, good night, Carol. Tell me where you're watching us from, where you're joining us from, and you're watching on Facebook. But tell me where I think you're in Jamaica, but tell us where you're watching us from. So, hemp seeds milk. What is it about hemp seed milk, Gene? All right. So you can get the guinea grass, which was another herb that we featured in the herb walk. Guinea grass is excellent. I mean, in its green form, it's excellent to make a green juice. I don't know if you knew that. Green guinea grass. So you can just get the guinea grass and get the middle portion of it, those tender leaves, and you can juice it, and you can add lemon to it, or you can add the leaves of the June plum leaves. Um, Very good juice, and it helps to clean the blood as well. So a lot of these herbs can be juiced and can be used as blood purifiers. They can be used as blood purifiers because they are 100% alkaline. They're 100% alkaline. So you can use them to basically detoxify the body. The root of the Guinean grass, and in the series that we did, we looked at the Guinean grass. So if you don't want to know what Guinea grass look like, not Guinea hen, but Guinea grass, then you can go to our 60 Minutes with Mother Nature that came out today, And in that particular series, I did identify the guinea grass. The root of that grass, guinea grass, when you dry the guinea grass, the root of that grass is an excellent medicine for stomach acidity. So a lot of persons who are having stomach issues, unresolved stomach issues that are difficult to resolve, it's very good. Stacy on YouTube is saying vervain moringa leaf. What are you saying about vervain and moringa leaves, Stacy? What are you saying about vervain and moringa leaf? All right. But we're doing a little extension on our 60 minutes with Mother Nature. We start out the show by reviewing the herbs that we looked at. Christine Gilbert says, Doctor, please, Doctor, explain briefly about Cascara Sagrada bark. Oh, you want to know what are vervain and moringa leaf good for? What is ratchet used for? I don't know what is ratchet. Annie, I don't know what is ratchet. But let me take the questions in the order it comes. So vervain is antibiotic. What's your take on almonds containing cyanide? Dr. Silver recommend that no one should eat or drink anything that contains almonds. All right, I'm gonna respond to that bit, boy. So vervain is antibiotic. It's antiviral. So those are the primary function. So it's good for anything that is viral related. It's also a uterine, so it's good for it's very good for the womb. And moringa is a nutritional herb. So moringa, the medicine in moringa, the benefits of moringa as a plant is from its nutritional content. So it's very high in nutrients. All right. Christine is asking about Cascara Sagrada. Now, Cascara Sagrada is, among many other things, is a laxative, and it's a mild laxative. The active ingredient in Cascara Sagrada, how it works is that it's not abrasive. Most laxative, like Senas and so on, can be abrasive, meaning that they can, if especially not used properly, they can hurt the lining of the gut by removing portions of the lining of the gut. Cascara Sagrada is one of those laxatives that is mild. And so it makes an excellent laxative because you don't have to worry about the abrasive effects of it and it being abrasive on the stomach. All right. So Cascara Sagrada is one of my favorite laxative. Plus, it's alkaline because it's found in nature naturally. All right. It's found in nature naturally. What are they good for? So I don't know what is ratchet. What is my take on almond? Now, cyanide is also found in rice. I don't know if you know that cyanide is also found in rice. And so it's not so much the fact that you are consuming cyanide, it's the amount. And so eating high levels of cyanide, of course, is poisonous. And so my take on acidity and alkalinity is a little different from Dr. Sebi because and I think some people take him wrong. He identifies a lot of acidic foods, but it's not that acidic foods altogether is bad. We need about a diet of 80% alkaline foods and about 20% acid foods. So you can choose from that 20% foods you're going to consume. The problem is when you have more acidic foods in your diet than alkaline foods. That's where the challenge is because your body is now more acidic than it is alkaline. So you shouldn't eat just pure alkaline. You need some acid foods as well. What would be a good cleanse for my kids aged 23 and 9? Again, so I recommend, colon cleanse because we are always putting stuff in our colon. So I do recommend a colon cleanse. I don't know, for the 23 years old, the need for the 23-year-old would be very different from the need from the 9 years old. My 23-year-old has body ache really bad. Is there anything she can take to help? That sounds as if she also has rheumatoid arthritis. And so a lot of times rheumatoid arthritis is caused from calcification in the body. So there's a lot of calcification. And so I recommend consuming lots of salty herbs, lots of herbs that are salty, like the guinea grass that I mentioned, um, uh, celery that I mentioned. All those herbs that are salty are very good for inflammation. So if you're also watching, anybody that's watching with rheumatoid arthritis, what you need is to increase herbs that do that. Sorry, that she has body acne. Oh, acne. Well, if she has acne, it means that she needs a blood cleanser, because whatever impurity is in the blood manifests through the skin. So she needs a blood cleanser. Excellent herbs that cleanse the blood are like rice bitters, maja bitters, herbs like neem are very good. Are very good. Sarmin says that she's in good health. Which cleanse would you recommend to get? Well, the first cleanse I would recommend is fasting, all right? Because fasting is a type of detoxification. So intermittent fasting is a cleanse that I would highly recommend. Apart from intermittent fasting, you want to look at the natural means of how the body is designed to cleanse itself. Now, the body naturally cleanses itself through urination, perspiration, and defecation. So, what can you do to increase perspiration? So, one of the cleanses I would also recommend is sauna, right? And of course, before you do your sauna, you would have to increase your hydration. But you want to increase the body's natural means of elimination and cleansing. So defecation, urination, and perspiration. All right. Hyacinth Baker wants to know what herb can increase breast milk in a nursing mother. So herbs like fenugreek is a good herb. Any herb that is high in estrogen helps. So fenugreek is one of them. Uh, in Jamaica, we have herbs like woman piaba is another good herb that increases milk production. Herbs like black coash or blue coash, these are herbs that increase. Any herb that is high in estrogen. So without giving a name, you can look up any herb that high in estrogen is good for increasing milk production. All right. And but of course, any herb that's also high in estrogen is not good for uterine fibroids. But if a person is breastfeeding and they're not, one herb that comes to my mind is fenugreek, fenugreek seed. So you would blend the seeds and you'd make a tea from it. All right, and that helps very well in milk production. All right, so keep those questions coming, guys, because our first guest is late. All right, so we can use the time to put in as much questions as is possible. All right. Also, Hyacinth, the person wants to increase water intake. All right, so they want to increase their water intake because so many persons are dehydrated. And usually, we shouldn't wait until we feel thirsty before we drink water. So we should always have good amount of water on hand that we should always be consuming. If you feel thirsty, thirst is actually one of the end stage or the last stage of dehydration. All right. So we should constantly have a certain amount of water that we are supposed to consume over or throughout a 1 day period. And there's also a right way and a wrong way to drink water. So a wrong way of drinking water is by gulping. A lot of persons may be shocked to know that they may be drinking a lot of water and still be dehydrated because you're gulping the water. What happens is that we wait until we get really thirsty. And then when we get thirsty, we get a bottle of water like this. And we put it to our heads. And we drink, and sometimes almost even before finishing the bottle, you'll feel the urge to pass your urine, right? Because you're drinking so much water. So a lot of that just escapes the body. The body doesn't get the time to really hold on to that water to utilize it. So sipping water is the best way. So you sip a mouthful or small amount, the body gets to utilize it, and then you keep on doing that throughout the day, and so the body is properly hydrated. So you don't want to wait until your mouth is dry and you're real thirsty to drink water, because that's why sometimes I think you've ever had a situation where you drank the water, your belly is full but you're still thirsty, all right? So that's a sign that you're dehydrated, so you don't want to do that, all right? So that mother can do that, Hyacinth. They can increase their water intake, and they can get those herbs to drink that will increase milk production. All right. All right. So we looked at detoxifying the body, and the show that we were on, that was on Rattigan show. I started talking. I was talking about the importance of urination, defecation, and perspiration. We see that we live in a society now where so many people don't perspire enough. They don't do enough to perspire. And so that toxin is trapped on the inside. So a good way of also detoxifying the body is through a sauna. And you don't have to have an expensive sauna, right? You can create your own sauna at home. You don't have to wait until you have a flu or something. So all you need to do to create your own sauna is you need to have a heat source and something that can trap the body, trap the heat. All right. So Master X6 says, I was so interested in how your body adjusts its cycles based on your activity as you change your time zone from your personal experience, but did not get to expound yesterday. Yeah, so I'm gonna talk about that, and I'm gonna talk about men using fenugreek. So to make a simple sauna, all you need to do is to get a chair. So I'm sitting on a chair now. See, get a chair like this, a sturdy chair. So I have this sturdy wooden chair. And you can get a blanket. So I'm going to just use this blanket that I have. And you can get the blanket like this. And you can wrap it around you. Make sure the blanket is big enough to touch the floor. And I don't even recommend leaving your head out, because sometimes we need that warm steam in our nostril. So you can get a pot with hot water, just boil the water. You can add herbs to it. So herbs that you can add are herbs like the sour orange leaf. You can have herbs like lemongrass. You can add minerals to it too. You can add peppermint. You can add eucalyptus oil, and you get that basin or pot underneath the chair, and you just sit there in your underwear for about 15 minutes. And that is an excellent way of inducing sweating and inducing, because what happens basically is that you are putting the body in its flight or fight mode, right? So if you're, if so we use this a lot for persons who had flu and the virus that was around recently. Now, there's so much, you can be so creative with something like this, especially for persons who are weak. So here's what happened. This is actually a hack. So let me share this hack with you guys. Now, so if the immune system is weak, the body immune system is weak. What happened is that the body is designed to go into what we call fight or flight response. That's an emergency response that the body goes into naturally whenever it sees threat. So, for example, if somebody came and frightened you, it's possible for you to miraculously just lift up something 4 times what you would normally lift up. Now, when you create that sauna setting, the body's immune system goes into a fight or flight mode. When the body goes into that fight or flight mode, the body's immune system is on high alert. And so because the body's system is on high alert, it's also the best time to give the body certain raw material. So a good raw material is like an ounce of green papaya leaf, right? Green papaya leaf. Green papaya leaf will boost your white blood cell count by over 1,000%. So for persons who are having like viral load issues, so you call a terrible flu or a terrible virus, that's an excellent way of just killing the virus, because what the sauna does is that it raises the body temperature, because most viruses can't live in a body above a certain temperature. And then not only that, you would have also given the body very powerful herbs so that the body can now begin to fight and ward off any enemy or invasion that it has. So, but that's an excellent way of detoxifying the body. That's an excellent. So if it is that you're not able to afford a sauna service, then that's a very inexpensive way to create your own sauna. Get a blanket or a woolen blanket and wrap it around you with a basin of hot water underneath it with mineralized water. That can be from Epsom salt to herbs, and basically just allowing the body to steam. I also do recommend inhaling that steam. So you can take the blanket over your head for about 5 or so minutes and gently breathe in the fumes. So that is also another effective remedy for persons who have asthma. So if you know of somebody who has asthma, that's an excellent way of addressing asthma in children. This is our ancestors. We didn't have pumps. We didn't have vape pumps to pump. What our ancestors would have done is they would have put us into a steam sauna, and they would have used the heat and the minerals from the plant in steam form, in steam inhalation, to allow the body to be mineralized and strengthened. Right? So that's one way of detoxifying the body, by increasing sweating. That's why you find that most people, when they're jogging, they wear garments that trap the heat. What they're trying to do is to create the effects of a kind of sauna. So that sweatsuit, that material that makes the suit, is there to encourage or to induce sweating. Right? So sweating is a very powerful form of detoxification, and some persons don't sweat enough, so your pores are clogged. So I talk about the 3 forms of detoxification: urination, perspiration. When you pass your urine, if your body is very toxic, then you are going to see that your urine is concentrated. All right, so while I'm waiting for my guest to come on, I'm going to ask my producer to contact our second guest. Contact our second guest. We have a powerful testimony Betty Boy says, little Portmore living sauna. Yeah, Portmore is a living sauna, man. Over there is really, really hot. Really, really hot. And so our first guest is a bit late. So we're gonna go to one of our first segment, and this segment um, is called product spotlight. So we're gonna switch. We're gonna go right to product spotlight. I'm gonna look at this. I want you to look at this product. If you're having any form of nutritional needs, then this is going to be an excellent product for you.
Welcome to our YouTube channel. Now we are excited to highlight our delicious and nutritious green smoothie. This is packed with a lot of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants. This green smoothie is the perfect smoothie to kickstart your day and to keep your energy levels up.
Alright, so what is inside of our green smoothie? We have kale and spinach, and these leafy greens are rich in iron, calcium, and also rich in vitamins A, C, and K. We have bananas that adds natural sweetness and provides a good source of potassium. Also included are apples, and this adds a crisp, refreshing flavor and is high in fiber. Avocados, and this offers healthy fats that help keep you full and satisfied. Also our chia seeds, which are packed with omega-3 fatty acids, fiber, and protein. Lemon juice, which boosts the flavor and adds a dose of vitamin C. And lastly, coconut water, which hydrates and adds essential electrolytes.
Now, some benefits of our green smoothie is that it boosts your immunity. It is loaded with antioxidants and vitamins to support your immune system. It enhances digestion, high in fiber to promote a healthy digestive tract. It also increases your energy level. It provides a natural energy boost without the crash. And also, it supports weight management. Nutrient dense and filling, helping you stay on track with your energy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to stay updated with our latest health and wellness videos. And comment in the comment section, how do you like your green smoothie? We love hearing from our community.
All right. So that was our product spotlight. And that's a product that is called or green smoothie. And green smoothie is made from a lot of a whole host of green plants. Sometimes depending on where you're living, you're not able to get all the green plants that you'd want. So what we have done, and this is one product from our Hallelujah Lifestyle Botanicals from our product line, and it's a blend of uh, fruits and vegetables in powder form. That's excellent as a supplement to supplement your diet if you're having any form of health issue. So there's a link in the description. It's called Green Smoothie. So for persons who may want to get the green smoothie, there's a link. There's a link there that you can use to get the green smoothie from our website. I see Bet Boys asking, welcome Berna F from Grenada. Nice to have you. I don't know what is it where you're asking about magnesium flakes, turmeric curcumin complex. All right. Do you know this plant? How many of you know this plant called uh it's called mm, purslane. We call it parsley. I mean, know purslane. That's a very good source of omega-3, 6, and 9. It's a very good source of um, anti-inflammatory compounds. Very good source of anti-inflammatory compounds. So if it is that you're having inflammation, that might be a very good product for you to get a hold of, because it helps tremendously with fighting inflammation. All right, very well. You have to get it, and it grows wild. It's found in most yards. Found in most yards. All right. All right. So guys, keep the questions coming. I'm having an issue. Oh yeah, Deborah. Hey Deborah, it's nice to have you. And Deborah is in Florida. Yeah. So yeah, it's good for persons who are having knee problem. Persons who are having knee problem. Um, let me just. I'm having an issue with my first guest. She's trying to log on. And I don't know if Dietary is the vitamin ginger. That's an excellent tonic for inflammation as well. The dietary and vitamins. So I'm having a little issue with my guess. Hold on. All right, Joshua, I'm gonna send on the private chat. Good. I'm gonna send on the private chat the link. So send that link to our second guest, so that she can come on. Yeah, we had a little having a little glitch with the sound here, Deborah. But yeah, it's yeah. So this herb, purslane, is one of the herbs that our ancestors used to eat, and it tastes good. It's nice, not only um cooked, but it's also nice as a salad. And also, purslane is also a salty herb, so it's very good for it's very good. Right? So it's good for all issues. A lot of persons who are having um, heat for in yeah, sorry about that, guys. I don't know, we have a little internet issue there. So, good for gasification. I have high cholesterol, high blood pressure. This is SG. My meniscus in my knees giving me a lot of pain, also back pain from the long standing working in the restaurant. SG, tell us where you're joining us from. Tell us where you're joining us from. So yeah, it is the purslane is very good for dealing with, you know, the issues of inflammation, um, and that's part of the issue. If you're having, or you're joining us from Georgia, okay, good. So welcome. So purslane is one of those herbs that we used to see a lot of people eating. We don't see a lot of people eating that anymore. So I strongly want to encourage you to get purslane and to add it to your diet, because it is very, very nutritious, very tastes good, and it's also good for you as well. All right. Any more questions, guys? So when you have calcification, which is kind of like hardening in hardening in the joints, hardening in the connective tissues. If you have it in the eyes, it causes cataract. You know, um, it's due to calcification. So salty herbs, and this is the chart that I use on my herb walk. And I was saying that this is so much more than just a chart that helps you in identifying medicinal herbs. All right. So let me give you an example. So let me see if I can bring it up a little closer. All right. So this chart is basically a Charmaine says, I miss Eunice's question. What's Eunice's question? Eunice's question is, Dr. Ben, on days when I stand for long hours at work, my foot bottom feels. All right, so let me read it again. Eunice says, Dr. Ben, on days when I stand for long hours at work, my foot bottom feels like I'm standing on pins and needles. What might be the cause? All right, so it might be poor circulation. It might be poor circulation, or it might be damage. The question is, where is it in your the extremities of your foot, or here? Can give you that. Any recommendations on how to consume it? I believe you're talking about the purslane. Well, it's a vegetable. And so it's not one of those herbs that are I don't use the word medicinal, but some herbs. All right, I'm gonna repeat. Some herbs are stronger than some herbs. More purslane is one of those herbs that are on the lower scale in terms of therapeutic use. So it's more of a vegetable. It's more of a culinary herb than it is a therapeutic herb. And so because of that, I'm responding to Deborah. You know, you can eat it treat it like how you would eat any type of food. All right. I see somebody calling me. All right, so you as a salad, you can have one handful, Deborah, two handful, and you can just consume that amount, 1 to 2 handful. All right. is a good amount for you to eat. P Breezy is asking what products I sell for prostate and diabetes. All right, so I do have products, but I don't just recommend products like that, P Breezy. I like to talk to persons to know more, but we do have products of diabetes and prostate. But it's not just to sell products, it's really to talk to you to find out what are your needs. So I would say to you, there's a form in the description to fill out that form so that I can talk to you some more to know more about your needs. All right. Marcia Ramsey is saying, good night. I have slit discs, high blood pressure. Why I'm not having from the guy. Let me. All right, guys. Sorry about that. I'm having issues connecting my guests this evening. Marlene is saying, good night, Dr. Ben. For someone who has never done a detox, which is the best one to start with? All right, so the best one to start, as I said, people think that you have to take something in order to detoxify the body. Here's a simple detox. If you just went on a fast, then that's a type of detoxification. So if you just went on a fast and just drank pure water, that's a simple way of detoxifying the body. Marcia said, you're frozen. I never hear you, doctor. Let me see if I can find your question. Good night. All right. So you have slit disc, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and a frozen shoulder mixed with arthritis. So most of your problems sounds to be calcification. Here's what happened. So if your blood vessels are calcified, what happened is that they can't expand and dilate as they should. So your pressure is going to go up. If you also have calcifications on your bone, it's going to cause your bones to develop what we call bone spur. Those bone spurs sometimes will touch your nerves, and that will cause pinch nerve. So a lot of what your issues are sounds to be more like calcification. And to confirm it, you may have issues with your kidney, because with all of that calcification, you're definitely going to be having issues with your kidney. Kidney stones, kidney cysts, and other, which is calcification of the kidney. So the kidney is not functioning as it should. right? So you're gonna have issues like that. So again, what do I recommend? I recommend salty herbs. Right? The lady I'm trying to get on, I just connected with her. Let me see if I can get her on using another means. Let me see if I can get her on using another means. So this, hello, good day.
Yes, good.
How are you?
Hello.
Uh,
But
okay.
I'm not getting on to the link.
Okay, not getting on. All right, so I have you on speaker. I have you on speaker.
Okay. Okay.
All right. Let me know let me know if can you hear the person that's on my phone? I have her on my phone. Can you hear her? I just bring greetings tonight, Miss Love. So let me find out if they can hear you.
Good night, everyone.
All right. So guys, can you hear
This is
her?
Nadine Love. You hearing me?
They say yes. Marcia say yes. All right. So this is let me I'm being creative, guys. I'm being creative. I am trying to be as creative as is possible. Um, hold on. All right, so
Welcome to our YouTube channel.
I have
Now we are excited to highlight our delicious and nutritious green smoothie.
Yeah, Nadine.
Nadine. Okay, Nadine. So I have with me Miss Nadine Love, and as I said, I am in Laos, which is like 12 hours ahead. So it's after 8 there in the night. It's 8 o'clock in the morning here. And so I got a phone call from this lady who I decided I was wondering if I should take the call because you called me at about, I think it was after 1 or 2, yeah, when I should be sleeping.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, let me take the call. So I don't know her, she doesn't know me. But just tell us, tell me, you had some health issues, and tell me what was happening to you and how did you hear about us?
Yes, good night, everyone. It's Nadine Love. I had a head problem. I have suffering from stomach. Um,
You know what?
I started the live come up on my phone, and I was listening to the live, and
And
I phone I want to chatter. It started out. I bought the medicine, and I tell you guys, it's wonderful for me because I bought it and I have it I put it down for like 2 days. You're gonna take it.
I know they don't want what she's saying to go out. So this is a lady who, as she was saying, she basically saw a live pop up on your phone. That's what you're saying. You saw a live pop up on your phone, and this was how long ago?
Yeah.
How long ago was this?
Like 2 weeks ago, Sunday evening, like no.
Mm-hmm. So 2 weeks.
Sunday, I thought.
Yeah. So you saw a live pop up and you watched it, and what happened?
Yeah, and I saw your number.
Mm-hmm.
And I send you a WhatsApp, and I show you my medical report, my illness. I send it to you, and you said you told me what and what I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And when I got it, and I see all the stuff, the stones breaking up, coming out from my body. And I leave my mom was in severe pain. And when I see my mom yesterday, and she came to me and said, I thank you. I said, what are you thanking me so much for? I don't even remember that I bought the pill that said
calcium channel blocker.
The calcium channel blocker, and I bought it for my mom. And she was saying, this pill is so good. All the pain that she was feeling, she said she think she was gonna pass away. She said she never know she would make it. And she said every morning she wake up, she make sure she take her pills because she said, oh my God, they are so good. You know, so that's why I'm here to tell persons that listen, these medication, they are so they are good. This Dr. Ben medicine, I can recommend it. I don't know Dr. Ben. Dr. Ben doesn't know me. Okay? So I'm speaking of my experience that I have. And Dr. Ben medicines are affordable. His medicine is affordable. No matter how your pocket is low, the price that I bought them for, I couldn't believe that they work so fast.
I believe you paid what, $5,000 for the medicine, I think. That's about, in US, that's about, I don't know, 5,000 Jamaican is about $25 US.
What I bought it for.
Yeah.
And the one for my mom for $25. And I'm saying these medicines, they're so reasonable. Because I can tell you, I asked another person and the price that they gave me, I said, no, this is too ridiculous. If I buy this, I cannot eat food.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm telling you, Dr. Ben medicine, I can tell anyone, I just started it. And it is working wonders for me and my family.
Right. And
so I am recommending anyone.
And that medical we're talking about.
Any illness you have.
Yes. And that medicine that we're talking about is I talk about because the persons who are watching Nadine, I teach people how to make that medicine. Even though we sell it, my goal is not to sell. My goal is to teach people. I want persons to be able to do it for themselves. So so a lot for a lot of persons who are listening, they wouldn't be able to buy it because they are overseas. So you could buy it because we have offices where you can go. That's not a medicine that we can ship. So for persons who need it outside of Jamaica, I can't make it and send it to you. I have to teach you how to make it for yourselves. And there's a link in the description. It's called the Amazing Gallbladder and Liver Flush. I don't know if you know, Nadine, but for what the medicine did for you, it cost somewhere in the region of about $200,000 or $300,000 for surgery. So there are persons who had surgery for over $300,000 at UA who got the same medicine, and by the next day they passed it out. I'm in Laos now, and I have a client downstairs who has a gallstone that I'm going to make it for today, and he's going to use it to remove his gallstone. So the whole idea is to empower persons by giving them this knowledge. So I'm not looking to sell something. I'm looking because the greatest weapon against sickness and disease is education, not medication. And then the other medicine, which is the calcium channel blocker, is what I'm responding to. The person who talked about their arthritis and the person who talked about their bone spur, not bone spur, pinched nerve. A lot of persons who have pinched nerve, it's related to bone spur. And so what they need is basically salty herbs. Any herb that has lots of salt will get rid of that inflammation and that pain. So I'm happy because I had a guest that was supposed to be on, and I couldn't get to her. I didn't get to her, and I was praying. I was trying to figure out who could I get to come on, and then just after while praying, I got a phone call, and here it was. This lady called me, and she was telling me about what happened to her, and I decided to last me just to ask her to come on the show and just to talk about her experience, because I want to share inspiring stories with persons where they can literally talk to persons, what benefited. So you passed out all of those gallstones, Nadine?
Yes, doctor. This was a lot.
What, and you passed them out in a bedpan or in a toilet bowl?
In a toilet bowl.
In a toilet bowl. And so in my phone is full of images where people send me those images of what the stone looked like. What the color of your stones?
I saw some green and I saw some white ones.
Mm-hmm. Some green.
A lot of green and white. Yeah, and white, like glassy looking.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I normally ask persons to send me the picture of the stones, because the color of the stones, the possible colors are brown, cream, green, and white. And those stones tell you something. So yours were green. The last set were green. The last set were green. The first set were what? The first set of stones in the password. What color were they?
White.
White. Oh, so that's
a glassy looking white.
Glassy looking white. So those are calcium stones. So that's telling me that you have lots of calcification in the body. So depending on the size, because they range in size from about your little fingernail to about sand grain. What was the size of the biggest ones that you passed out?
Also like some sand, a little bigger than a sand.
Okay, all right. So that's good, because we want them to come out looking like sand, and we want them to come out green. When they come out green, it means that they're covered in bile. It means that your bile is flowing properly. All right. So thank you, Nadine, for being on. I know the powers that be tried everything not to get this testimony out, but I thank you. I'll send you a copy of the recording. All right.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night.
All right. Good night. All right, so that was the only way. We had to get that testimony out. Marcia, I'm in Montego Bay. Is there a number? Yeah, we do have a number, but if I give the number out, I'm going to be flooded with calls. And sometimes people call and they say, I can't get you. Herbs and Plants with Michael. Hey, Michael, how you doing? A lot of persons can't get me, so I'll take the chance, put a number out, but I'm going to tell you from now, the best way to get me, is to fill out the form. The 47. Yeah. The best way to get me is to fill out the form in the description. All right, so I just put my number there, 876 309-4783, and I'm going to put another number there, 876-831-9697. All right, so that's another number that's there as well. So that's our Morant Bay office and our Port Antonio office. All right, and you can get them on WhatsApp. But the best way, Gene said not chat, like the color of the rainbow. Yeah, well, we just use different colors, Gene. We just use different colors to indicate, different stuff. So the red indicates fire, and the blue indicates blue. Odian Reed, Spud. Thank you for joining me. All right, so basically on this chart, if you were to tell me what herb would be good for any condition, I can just look at the chart and tell you. So I want somebody to sentence office. I don't know sentence office out of my head. That's why I said, fill out the form. I want somebody to tell me of a particular ailment. Any ailment. Tell me any ailment. Give me any ailment, and I'll show you how we can use the chart to resolve that, to tell you which herb to use. I want somebody to just go ahead. Tell me about an ailment. Tell me about an ailment. A sickness. Give me a sickness. So I basically created this chart to help persons who practice medicine in Jamaica. I created a chart to help persons who practice medicine in Jamaica to know how to identify medicinal herbs without even knowing the name of the herb. This chart will tell you to tell you how to know the medicinal use of a herb and which herb you need for whatever condition. So I'm going to give you an example. I want somebody on the chat, just tell me about, give me any sickness. Give me a sickness. Let me show you a word. Give me a sickness. Somebody give me a sickness. Somebody give me a sickness. I can't believe it take that long for somebody to give me a sickness. Hypertension. Herbs, plants with Michael. Hypertension. How can we get a copy? I'll tell you how you can get a copy of the chart. Hypertension. So hypertension, because our ancestors used the 4 seasons to classify herbs. All right. So there is spring, there is winter, there is spring, there is summer, and there is autumn. So somebody mentioned hypertension. Now, if you're having hypertension, it means that your blood pressure is high. All right. It means, and somebody mentioned diabetes. So let's look at these two. Somebody mentioned cancer. So let me show you how we can use a chart to do that. Now, our ancestors realized that plants, the action that a plant has is synonymous with the seasons, right? So there are some plants that are hot, right? Like summer, like pepper, ginger, right? Then there are some plants that are cold, like mints. There are some plants that take water out of the body, like guava leaf. They call them astringents. And there are some plants that when you put it in your mouth produces water. This is the four major actions of plants. And then we have smaller actions in between. But look at the 4 major ones. So somebody says high blood pressure. Now, when you have high blood pressure, pinch nerve, my hands are numb. So I'm going to show you. And this chart, I believe it's in the link on the description. And I created this chart. I'm here in Laos because I realized that in Jamaica, we have so many persons who practice medicine, but there's no consistency. There is no uniformity. You go to one person, they tell you this, one person tell you that. And then the person who is sick has no way of knowing what they are being told, if it's true or it's not. So I basically designed this chart to help persons to identify plants and also to help persons to know how to determine which plants to use. So we're going to look at high blood pressure. Now, if we're having high blood pressure, and high blood pressure can be caused by different things, there are a number of things that can cause high blood pressure. So high blood pressure can be caused by the blood being thick. It can be caused by the blood vessels being calcified, so they're not expanding as they should. It can be caused by too much salt. It can be caused by a number of factors. So let's look at high blood pressure that is caused by the blood vessels being calcified. Because you have to know why you have high blood pressure. And that is the reason why when you take blood pressure medication, there are different types of blood pressure medication. Sometimes you're given calcium channel blockers. Sometimes you're given ACE inhibitors. The medication that you get for your blood pressure is based on why you're having that blood pressure. So in the same way, naturally, if it is that you're taking if you have high blood pressure, we have to know why you have that high blood pressure, all right? So we're gonna use the chart to determine what herbs do I use if I have high blood pressure that is caused predominantly by calcification. All right. So calcification is basically where the blood vessels has cholesterol and the cholesterols solidify. Like, you know, like when you go to a restaurant and you look on the vent and you can see that buildup of plaque, or in your home after a period of time over your stove, if you look, you see a buildup of plaque where the grease that comes from the frying pan forms a hard, crusty plaque where you have to use knife to scrape it off. Well, the cholesterol from the food causes that same buildup of plaque in your blood vessels, and the blood vessels become calcified, they become rigid, and they're not elastic anymore. So if that's the main cause of your high blood pressure, then what you need, so we're gonna look at salt, right? What you need is salty herbs, right? What you need is salty herbs. The opposite of salty herbs is simple bitters. So herbs like guinea grass, herbs like stinging nettles, herbs like Spanish needle, herb like celery, herbs like salt, corn silk. Those are the type of herbs that you're going to need to help with fighting your high blood pressure. All right. Somebody says diabetes. Pearl Mary says diabetes. If you're having diabetes. Now, if you're having diabetes, one of the causes of diabetes is the fact that the body is not taking up insulin. That's type 2 diabetes. The blood is not taking up insulin. Most of the time, persons have diabetes, it is because their pancreas is under pressure. All right. So if your pancreas is under pressure, then what you need is what we call, you're going to need some salty herbs, and you're going to need a blend of fragrant bitters. All right. And so what that does is that it stimulates the flow of it helps with the pancreas in the body adjusting its insulin secretion. So but this chart basically is what I can use this in helping me to determine which herbs. So I have samples of the herbs, and then I have an example of what exactly the herb does in the body, and how it responds to the tissue. Because in herbal medicine, there are two things that you have to know. One, you have to know how to interpret what the body cells are saying to you, and two, you have to be able to understand what the plants say that they have available. So it's matching the minerals that the plants have available with what the cells of the body says that it needs. All right. So this chart does that, and it's also the chart that we use for our herb walk. We are able to taste herbs and to determine their medicinal use. So this is something that that has helped my job so much more. I think it's in the description of the video. I believe it's in the description of the video. Steve, it's in the description of the video. Let me just look. I believe it's in the description of the video. But you can go there and you can get it. Live. Look in the video. Look in the description of the video for me, guys. Let me just go and check. I think it's there. Let me go and check. Description. So scroll down. Yes, the chart, the link that says medicinal herb taste guide link. Yeah, it's in the description. Medicinal herb taste guide link. That's the link for the chart I just showed you, and that's where you can get a copy. And I intend to do some more work on that, because my goal is really to empower persons. I really want to share with persons how they can help themselves. I'm gonna put I'm gonna put something on the, if you're watching from abroad, I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna ask because here's the thing. You know that lady that called about the, so there's that's our Cash App and our Zelle link. I want to share something with you because our goal is really to educate persons. Because of what I do and how I work, everybody works differently. My goal is not to make medicine for persons or sell medicine to persons. Look, I'm here. I'm in Laos. I brought all these herbs. All these herbs, I have them with me for my client. I'm here for 9 days. And yes, I do work on persons, but my goal is to teach. So today I'm going to the University of Laos. I met with a professor yesterday. My goal is to educate Jamaican people because what I'm doing is very dangerous. My goal is not to sell medicine or to trick anybody. The lady who came on, she said 2 weeks ago, somebody had asked me a question about the eye. And she said it was my response where I told person, because I don't do it. I don't work with a lot of clients with eye problem. So I'm not going to try to pretend as if I know it all. I'm still a student. I'm still learning. All right. And I'm here. I'm going to answer Hyacinth Baker. I'm going to answer Pearl Morrison question about her feet. So I'm here because I'm still a student. I'm in Asia because I'm still trying to find out. I'm still learning. But as much as I learn, I'm also trying to share. And one of the best ways that I do that is through our retreat facilities. I best help persons by teaching them. Natural medicine can be very expensive, and I don't believe it should be expensive. So I'm always looking for ways to make it affordable. I'm always looking for ways to make it affordable. And the creator, he shows us that it's not supposed to be expensive. Dr. Ben, will you be in Toronto, Canada anytime soon? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be in Toronto, Canada anytime soon. I certainly don't have any plans on being there right now. But my Cash App and my Zelle information is on the screen, and I'm asking. I have a client now, and my wife said I talk too much, but I have a client now who I'm working with stage 4 cancer, and he's so impressed with what we do because I tell him that at my age, we used to have a wellness retreat facility where we would take persons in. So persons who have been following me would know that we had a very big property, nearly 100 rooms, 18 acres, and we gave that up during COVID. Since COVID, we have not had a facility that we have for ourselves where we offer persons help. And so that's one of my main gist right now. I'm looking for help in getting a facility back up. So my Cash App and my Zelle link is there. If it's possible for you, no, Joshua, put up back the link for the Zelle, put back the Zelle link, not that one, the Zelle link for persons who may want to contribute. There are so many persons that we lose. There are so many persons that want to come. And I don't just want to just help you. I want to show you how I'm helping you. My goal is, I think is if I help you, because those persons, that lady who talked about the gallstones coming out and her mother who got the medicine that helped her with the bone spur, that medicine is what I'm sharing. I want person to be able, just like how you benefit, I want you to be able to know how to help somebody else. So if you benefit, when you how many persons can I help at a time? I'm one person. I can only help so much and no more. And so I'm trying to run on money. My goal is to get the knowledge out. My goal is to share the knowledge. And so what we need is a facility. A lot of persons who come to me, no, I don't do it. In the past, I would the facility is about 45 minutes away from my office. And I have to go there in the morning, see the clients, tend to them, then drive back 45 minutes to my office to see more persons. And then in the evening, about 5 o'clock, I have to drive back 45 minutes to the facility to look after persons and then drive 45 minutes back home. It's ruling on my wife. So I've had to learn now. I'm learning how to say no. Right? I'm learning to say no. And PayPal, I do have PayPal. I don't know my PayPal information right now. Masterix, sorry about that. But if you go to my YouTube channel, the PayPal link is on my YouTube channel. So if you go to my channel, the PayPal link is there, I believe. Right? But I need help in setting up back a retreat facility. And an offer was made to us, a client who has a house that's valued equivalent to it's equivalent to about 400,000 US. She's saying, listen, Dr. Ben, I am willing to give you that house for a half of that. So for 200,000 US, and if you have 100,000 US, I'll give it to you and I'll give you a vendor's mortgage. So you can't want, a better deal than that. So I'm looking help, guys. I'm looking help. If you're able to give anything, I really would appreciate it. It hurts me when I have to turn back persons. Every week I turn away persons, and these are persons that we know we can help. Let me just tell you, was it last year or the year before, we turned away a young lady that had a ailment in which from her head to her toe, she was covered in sore. She had a condition called, I believe it's pemphigus vulgaris, where the symptoms appears to be like, when somebody throw hot water on you when you're burnt from your head to your toe, you know what I mean? She was covered in sore. I believe she was in her 20s, 3 children. And I can still remember when she was in the hospital, I would buy her credit, she would call me. Sometimes I couldn't take the call, when she would beg me to just come and take her. And I know we could help her. And I had to tell her no, because I don't have the facility to keep her. And another person that comes to my mind is a 19-year-old girl from up in St. Thomas, up in Trinityville. 19 years old. She was studying to become a practical nurse. She had rheumatoid arthritis. And I would go to her house. My wife and I would go to her house. And very poor people lived in very humble setting. And I would watch her mother. You don't know what it's like to have somebody, a young child, sick. And you're doing everything in your power. And you know that there's even a small window. Because I don't take the glory, I give all praise to the Most High. I'm just blessed with the ability to share. The body heals itself. I don't take credit for that. I don't have the power to heal anybody. That woman that just came on, her body healed itself. All I did was I guided her what raw material to give the body, and the body did its job. So all praise go to the Most High. But there are many more persons like that I can help, that I would want to help, but I don't have the facility to do so. In the past, I have taken up, because sometimes it's difficult to say no. And in the past, we have taken on the responsibility to help persons. But in the past, that's been to the very inconvenience of myself and the very inconvenience of my wife. After those period of treatments are over, my wife and I, we are exhausted, we are burnt out. And so I have to make the decision that I'm not going to do much of that anymore. For me to do what I do, I have to do it in a facility where we live there. So we live there, so we see persons in the morning when we get up, and we see persons in the night before we go to bed. So if you're watching and you can make a contribution, my Zelle information is there, my Cash App information is there. I really would appreciate it. It's difficult to say no. Right now, I have a client. The client that has so graciously made that offer to me was a client that I said no to. But after saying no, we came to some arrangement where I'm working closely with a nurse or a caregiver to help that person. And so if I had the facility, part of what we would be able to do would be to train. Part of what I would be able to do, especially for persons who can't afford it, would be to train persons and send them out. So if you're in Canada, for example, and I can't come to Canada, we could send one of our caretakers, and it would be more affordable. Send them to your house and they could help you. We have persons from Montego Bay. We have persons that are far away. So it doesn't necessarily mean that persons would have to come. The person, we have nurses that have been working with us for over 4 or 5 years who routinely see what we do over and over and over and over and over and over again. So they can do it. But I don't have a lot of those nurses. I maybe have about 2 that I'm comfortable and confident that we can send out to help somebody. If I had the facility, it would be an ongoing process where we would have persons constantly training that we could send out. So, this is me asking, and it's sad because it's not about money for me. We have very high profile clients. And sometimes it's easier for me to ask my clients who are not high profile than to ask high profile clients, because I don't want them to think that because I know that they have it, I'm targeting them. So I don't ask them for help. But we have entertainers, we have celebrities that we work with. But I have a challenge sometimes in asking for help. That's a challenge that I have. And, I have to learn to overcome that, because, just like how I'm asking, I've come to understand that there are literally persons out there with the gift of giving. There are persons who are gifted with giving. There are some persons who it's easy for them to give. And so sometimes by not asking, I'm preventing that person who has that gift to function in that gift. So we have a property that we're looking at. It's $100,000 US. We can get it, and we could just start helping persons. I'm sure we could have more than 5 rooms there. We could accommodate more than 10, 12, 15 persons there comfortably and work with them. So I'm just putting that out there, guys. And I don't want to belabor that. If you sense in your heart that this is something that you would want to be a part of, please let me know. Some persons are gifted with raising funds. If you're one of those persons, then in the form below, when you fill out that form, let us know if that's something that you would want to help us to do in doing that. All right, so let me go on to Hyacinth Bakers. You have not answered Pearl Morris' question about the burning in the feet. So again, I said it depends on what's causing the burning in the feet. It may be nerve related, or and it sounds like it's more nerve related because of how the nerves are. There are certain sheets that when they are inflamed, there's a burning in them. If she's having burning in her feet, it's more than likely nerve related. So it could be caused by pinched nerve. So I would recommend, and if she has it, due to long standing, then it sounds like it's more nerve related. It's getting warm in here. So what she needs are cooling herbs. All right, let me look at the chart. So here, this red here symbolizes burning. So if she's having burning, Then she wants herb over on the cooling side. So herbs like leaf of life, herbs like West Indian elm, herbs like tuna, herbs like plantain, herbs like gumbo limbo. So I would strongly recommend plantain, English plantain, as a herb that can help in that respect. I would also recommend herbs like crowfoot leaf that would help with that inflammation. And I would encourage herbs like you can use it as a poultice, or you can use it internally. Herbs like what's that? It's done. Star. What's that? Star. I don't know what that is. What's that? That I don't know what link is that Dan has posted. Start up. I don't know. So so for her, she may need herbs like purslane, because purslane is anti-inflammatory. All right. So she might want to get that for her burning. All right. She might want to get that for her burning. I see a link. I don't know what type of link is that. It's done. I'm gonna block that link. I don't know what that link is. All right. So any other question, guys? Sorry that we only have 3 minutes because this is a 2-hour show, and we weren't able to get one of our guests. Today is a New Year's celebration for the Taino's people, and so she was traveling, so I guess she's not able to join us today. But hopefully next week we'll have them with us. Any other question, guys, before we go? How to use purslane? Hold on. All right, sorry about that. I think we're getting the chief and chiefess. They're trying to join us, so we're gonna hear from them. Hold on, let me send this link to them. Let me send this link to them. So today is their New Year celebration, and they have taken the time out to join us. All right, so let me just see if I can get them on. Just bear with me, guys. Just bear with me. All right, Joshua, just let them know that I just sent them the link again, so they can join. I just sent it to them. Okay, they're here. All right. Chief, your camera is off and your mic is off. Your camera is off and your mic is off. Hold on.
The mic is on.
Testing, testing.
All right, your mic is on, but your camera is off.
Let me see. That
All
any
right.
good?
Yes. All right. So let me just welcome, guys. I'm going to talk about that, Michael, but let me just pause. Chief Kasik Kalan and Chief Kasik Kalan and his wife, they are the chief of the Taino community here in Jamaica, and I wanted them to be on because so much to share with us. I was of the belief that the Taino people were completely obliterated in Jamaica. When I was talking to the chief's wife, she was sharing with me about what is called paper genocide. So tell us, Chief, how are you doing? I hear that today is your New Year celebration.
Yes, greetings. Usa no no da yukuno. Good night, my people. We just celebrated our Taino New Year, the start of the rainy season.
Okay. So it's a Taino New Year. I know you're busy because I know today is a celebration. Can you explain to us the concept of paper genocide and how it specifically relates to the Taino people?
Of course. So for us, we had two colonizers, the Spanish and the British. And there was a struggle and a period in which the British were trying to take over the island from the Spanish. And during that time, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So the narrative was put out of how the Spanish had killed off all of the indigenous people. When records showed that what the Spanish did is release the enslaved that they had, and those enslaved had the option to either join with the British or join with the Spanish. Some went to Cuba, some stayed and fought, some went into the mountains, some assimilated with Spanish women Spanish men with Taino women, and they went and created villages and tried to protect their families. So as a result of that, to continue that narrative of the colonizers against each other, it was recorded of how this genocide took place and our people were wiped out. And initially, the language was a lot looser. So it would say that Taino communities were destroyed, which they did destroy Taino communities. But eventually, the narrative changed from communities being destroyed to none left, to extinction, which is very drastic different meanings. We know that our communities became dispersed, and today we use the saying of dispersed, not disconnected, because we have found our way back together. So paper genocide for us is the process in which, through the census system, they try to erase our people.
So you grew up in Jamaica. Where did you ever sit in a classroom where you heard that the Tainos were completely obliterated, that they no longer exist?
Yes, it was said that the first people of the Caribbean were wiped out, not just here, but throughout the entire Americas, were wiped out by colonization, and that no one else existed. That's what was taught in the schools, and it felt so wrong to me. My spirit. I remember the day when I was in history class and I just walked out and dropped the subject. Realistically, like it just didn't connect. And for my personal journey, I learned over time and was able to understand what a lot of things more about my family. And it reached a level today where we have community members and different families that also honor their indigenous ancestry, their Taino ancestry.
Okay. You were sitting in the classroom when you were hearing that you and along with your family members no longer exist.
Yeah, at the time.
What yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, I was saying at the time, I didn't know that I myself had, because in school they told us it was Arawak. Didn't know that I had Arawak or Taino ancestry. That was later on in life.
Okay.
But something in me.
How was the misclassification? Or yeah,
so I was just sharing that something in me was stirred to look into that more. Or repeat, Ben?
Something cause you to want to push forward.
Okay, that I wanted to push forward.
Yeah, one of our listeners is saying I was taught that in primary school back in the 70s as well. So I was the only person that was being taught this. But how has the misclassification or the denial of the Taino identity impacted their access to health care and social services, or has it done that?
Slowly but surely, my brother. So there are customs and practices that used to be widespread, and now in the modern age, there are legislations and rules and things that are being put in place under the intention of guiding and supporting communities, but it has really been breaking down a lot of our traditions. And today, we look on mechanisms like the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, which speaks towards a level of autonomy in preserving our health practices and our traditions and our teachings and our wisdom. So I'll give you real life practical examples. Home births is a natural thing in our communities. But how the systems are set up now in Jamaica is that a mother cannot have an home birth. It's not supposed to. That's what they're saying. For their first or their 10th child. So already, there's a disconnect that is being created within our families and within our healing practices.
And we are saying that this is a right that Indigenous people have. This is not just cultural, part of your culture in terms of home birth. How many persons do we have now are skilled in our society in terms of delivering children?
Oh gosh, I mean, we have midwives, but the reality of it, Ben, is that the way that the students are educated now is if they have a cesarean section, the doctor can be home in time for dinner. So the whole process of natural birth, it doesn't work alongside with how the young ones are being educated as it relates to healthcare. And that is just one of many examples.
So we have used among animals. We are the only animals where birthing is not natural. It's considered to be a sickness where you have to go to the hospital. In all other animals, giving birth is a natural experience, a natural part of life. But we have turned it into a situation where if a person is giving birth, they're required to go to a hospital. It's treated as a sickness.
Exactly. And so, that is direct impact.
Yeah, and so. Yeah, and that's a very good So how can you share some traditional Taino health practices and how they have been preserved or revived in modern times? Are there some health practices that um, that you have still preserved in your community?
Yeah, so all right. So in our communities, one of the things that we practice is that we believe that plants have a spirit.
Mhm.
And because plants have a spirit, we don't only work with the medicinal properties of the plant, but the spirit of the plant as well. So what was interesting is that during the pandemic, there was this big push for people to be using hand sanitizer to cleanse their hands and using things to cleanse the space that they're in, because people were passing these viruses from one another. But in our ceremonies and our way of being, there are smoke ceremonies that we do. So there are specific plants, and it's in our belief the spirit of these plants represent cleansing. An example of one is like cedar, and we would burn this plant and we'd run it over our body and it cleanses us. And the science found out that it actually kills the bacteria that is in the air. So science today is really confirming a lot of the practices
Yes.
that our traditional elders have. So that is one simple one, and that is something that we do on a regular, and it helps with aromatherapy. It helps with those who are suffering depression. There are baths that you can take with these as well, and that is how we create a deeper connection to the spirit of the plant. There are
Right.
plants
What
that we
about
use for
sauna?
different things. Mhm.
What about sauna? We're talking earlier on the show about sauna. Within Taino medicine, is there any practice of the use of saunas?
Yeah, we have what we call like a kansi, which is once we set up the 1 hour, which is a place apart. There's a fire, and we use sacred medicines again. We use these plants, we call upon the energy and medicine of these plants, and we use the steam from those plants to purge ourselves of various illnesses. So that was another thing that, in a simpler way that was recommended to community members during the pandemic. So a lot of steaming and inhaling of the steam of specific plants to cleanse the nasal passages and to cleanse bacteria that may have been building up around the throat. So these are things that we have always been doing. So when we say everybody adding different layers, so-called, of protection to what should have been a norm and a regular way of life. The colonizers have records of how cleanly our people are on a whole. Baths and plants and these things is a regular staple in our life. And I think we overlook these things until big issues like that come up.
Right. So tell us, we know of a compound, we know of Moortown. Are there still vibrant Taino communities in Jamaica? And if so, where can we find some of these communities?
Well, our community, as I said, is dispersed but not disconnected. So we don't have a settlement, one specific space. We have families
Right.
that are in different places and continuing and preserving their practices. So we're just coming from one of our spaces, which is Woodside in St. Mary, and there are other spaces in St. Mary too. There's also in Negril. There's also in St. Anne. There's also in areas of St. Catherine and Mandeville. And most of these are either the mountainous interior or fishing villages that still preserve our practices. There's communities in St. Elizabeth that they still have the practice of working with the saber, the cotton tree, and still have the practice of making canoes. We have an elder in our community that he holds that tradition. He learned it from his father, and he still has his father's ads. So, we are dispersed and we're working on that communal space to preserve. Right now, we're focusing on our the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People and having our rights acknowledged so that we can alleviate the worries of some of our community members. It has been stated in our meetings within our community that one of the issues that they face is this fear because we don't have our rights, that once we start to accumulate in our sacred spaces, because there will be a connection to ancestral remains and ancestral artifacts, because we have communities members that are caretakers of these spaces, the government may want to come in and want to take over these things because there's still the narrative thought that we don't exist. So if we don't exist and we have these remains that are Taino remains and they don't acknowledge our existence and the connection we have to our family, then there's the risk of them wanting to come in and take these things and take these spaces and, put them under the rule of the government. So we're working on enshrining and instilling our rights to protect our people. And then that will allow more to feel comfortable in stepping up and openly sharing our spaces. But the protection have to be there first, brother.
Okay. So looking to the future, what are 4 hopes and goals for the Taino people in terms of health, cultural preservation, and recognition? What are 4 hopes you have?
Brother, today is a really sacred day for us because today we're celebrating 1,424 years of our ancestral inhabitation of this island from 900 AD, and we had a good turnout of community members. So we look towards the community growing internally. Yes, there's awareness that we're sharing with the public, but the 4 things I'd say is, one, that internal awareness. There are still family members within each community member's family that work needs to be done for them to anchor and honor and preserve what they have, so that outsiders don't try to come and take it away, or it's not sold by future generations. 2 is our acknowledgement of our rights. And through the acknowledgement of our rights, what will happen is that we will be able to better preserve, promote, and protect our indigenous teachings, because who better to look to in how to alleviate the issues from climate change than those who hold aspects of traditional teachings that have existed for centuries, that have been maintaining the island to this point. So that's 2. 3, I would say that an open-mindedness, and that we would at some point be able to have this truth and reconciliation as it comes about the extinction narrative, that it would be written in the books and acknowledged our presence and our continuity and the contributions that we have made, not just to Jamaica, because Tainos on a whole, to different islands and different spaces in the world. When the cassava plant was carried to Nigeria, there were several cases of cyanide poisoning, and that didn't happen here because our ancestors have been here and have been teaching. You don't hear about those things in Jamaica, right? Because we know how to work with the cassava and how to work with the bami. And the 4th one I would say is that through avenues like you are creating here, my brother, that we'll be able to spread that awareness, that those who have heard the stories in their family will record their family stories, that we can have an archive for future generations, and we can come together to create something sustainable to not only support the Taino community that is here, not only the Taino community in the diaspora, but the world on a whole. We have prophecies that speak towards a return of indigenous ways of being and knowledge, and that from that we would usher in it's not a utopia, but a shift in the consciousness and the minds of people of the world, so that we can live in harmony with the environment. And just the example I gave before, our awareness that plants have a spirit, acknowledging that shifts things. It deals with consent and permission when working with plants. It deals with something that we need to have this way of working with each other. So our philosophy, our cosmology, and our teachings is something that can benefit the whole globe. And I really do appreciate the opportunity to share about that today, and the start of our rainy season celebration, and hope that it has touched the hearts and minds of those out there, that it will spark their curiosity and they will value the teachings regardless of the heritage they carry. But remember your family stories, learn the stories of your great grandparents, and share those with the future generations. Honor your bloodline, and your bloodline will honor you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Before we go, I have one more question, but I'd love to ask you, can you give us your website address? I'm going to put that on the screen for persons who may want additional research on the Taino people, or who may want to contact you. What's your website address?
All right. So it's www.yamayeguani.com. So YAMAYE, we pronounce it Yame, Guani, GUANI.com.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna have that on the screen. So for persons who want to do additional research, that is the website address for the Taino peoples. You need to get more information on them. One more question, Chief. how can non-Indigenous individuals and communities support the Taino people in preserving their culture, cultural heritage, and improving health outcomes? How can non-Indigenous people contribute?
Well, the first thing is to support those that are lobbying for the rights of indigenous people. Now, I know, at time that this line of understanding will bring tension, but in reality, what we're asking for is the opportunity to preserve, protect, and promote the teachings that we have received, and to have the rights of any other person or civilization. And through that type of support, through educating, through communicating, through allowing us opportunities to speak for ourselves and to amplify our voices, that does so much in changing the hearts and the minds of others, so that when opportunities arise for there to be major shifts as it relates to policies and laws, we will have that support to have these things enacted. Our desire for our community, and I can say this because we've had these discussions throughout the community before amongst the different families, is that we will be able to preserve, protect, and promote our teachings, our way of being. And once the rights are there, then there's a freedom to share those with others. But right now, there's a lot of issues as it relates to academia and others claiming our things, our way of being, our artifacts. And when they do that, it really amplifies that extinction narrative. So giving us opportunities to speak up, to speak for ourselves, to share our ways, we really appreciate that. And we look forward to the impact that can come from us coming together as people, as inhabitants of planet Earth, and creating change and awareness for future generations.
All right, thank you so very much, Chief. Thank you for taking the time out of your
My pleasure, brother.
we hope that so sorry about that, guys. Want to thank Chief Kasi Kalan for being on our live this evening. We know that he was extremely busy, but nonetheless, he took the time to be on. I want to thank him for the information that he shared, and of course, his information is on the screen where you can do more research about them. I want to thank you for joining us and for today's program. We're still a work in progress. I'm outside of Jamaica, so the internet is a little shaky here in Laos. But we hope to improve the quality as we go on. Want to thank him for, Chief, for being on, for taking the time out of his busy schedule in terms of being on today. I want to thank all of you also for being on. As I said, that our contact information is in the description. Check out the links in the description. Information is in the description of this link. New York and Florida is in the description. Please, guys, if you're in the Florida area and looking for a church, you're share from all right, guys. So there's Annalisa Mohammed is from Trinidad. Thank you for joining us, Annalisa. All right. So again, as I said, if you're from Florida, I'm looking for a location in the Fort Lauderdale area, Fort Lauderdale, and that is going to be June 17th to 21. If you know of a location, preferably a faith-based organization, please let us know. We're going to be in New York from June 10 to 15. That information is in the description. So there's a form that you can fill out if you know of anyone that is sick, or of anyone. I'll be coming to share from Pastor Carol Hamilton's church over there in Brooklyn, in Bronx. Sorry. So please, share that information. Thank you again for being on. It was my absolute pleasure. There are segments within this 2-hour live, so we're going to be reposting the segments we're going to be reposting the segments from Monday to Thursday in this week's series. So it's going to be much more condensed, much more shorter for you to find what was of interest to you. Again, I want to thank you. I hope that you liked. I hope that you subscribe. We want to grow this channel. We want to get the information there out. So please join us again next week, Sunday at 7. If you haven't yet subscribed, please subscribe and share so that you can. This is Dr. Ben Israel saying, have a wonderful evening and looking forward to seeing you next week, same time. Bye-bye.